Yeah, it's basically, other tips and advice and acting advice living in LA and all that stuff. There's a lot of wonderful things, and there's a lot of things that I'm really grateful for. It's like paying for licensing and going through the most extreme emissions that I've ever had to go through of any state in this country. And it's so contradictory. It's so contradictory. Basically, they just have these catalytic converters that are made out of all these really expensive metals and toxic metals and stuff that are theoretically supposed to purify the air. And basically, all they do is just put all those weird chemicals in the air and everything so they can pass this emissions test. And what's so ironic about it is the real problem is all the cars sitting idle on the freeway that are going nowhere. That's where all the pollution's coming from, and that's what you have to look forward to. That's an acting tip, direct acting tip from me to you. I'd point my finger, but my left shoulder's out of whack. Maybe I can get into that later. And so, you got that to look forward to, being stuck in the traffic. And there's no efficient transportation system. A lot of big cities all over the world have major transportation systems, but Los Angeles does not. It's like the people came here, got rich, took the money and left. Didn't put any money into the infrastructure. And there's basically none. The freeways are horrible. And that's what causes the pollution, is everybody's stuck and not moving. And it's basically the size of the roads and the traffic flow for the most part. The other part is everybody's all me, so freaking selfish. They don't want to let other people merge. So that causes other people to slow down, other people to slow down. Nobody will let anybody merge. And so that causes a lot of the gridlock there. And the other part of it is people want to race in the far right lane. And that messes everything up. And I encounter that every time, all day long. I'm about ready to try to get over and get off the freeway, and someone's freaking going past me in the right lane faster and I can't get over. That slows down traffic and it almost causes an accident, and that's ongoing, And then it's also the people that text, people that are on their phones texting all the time. I'm sure that causes a lot of pollution too, and a lot of accidents. And also in LA, the drivers here are crazy. That's another acting tip. They're really crazy. I haven't had them pull a gun out yet, but they would want to in a lot of cases, and they have in the past, and they will in the future. And then you will see, basically you're going to see, if you have like a smartphone and you have some of the different apps like Wayvo or something like that, FreeWave, I don't know. You have these different apps, and they'll show you all the accidents, and there's basically 7 accidents or more in Los Angeles all the time. All over the cities and stuff, there's accidents, at least 7 or 8, ongoing all the time. So that's part of living here and all that stuff. So you're gonna have to love your traffic. But the good thing about that is you can study your lines while you're in traffic if you don't get an accident like the other people that are texting and all that stuff. And so that's another acting tip, basically, and you get what you pay for in the acting tips. And so you didn't pay anything to get these, so I wouldn't expect very much. So you got that down, the traffic, everybody's crazy, you're going to need a GPS to find your way around, and your GPS is probably going to get you in an accident sooner or later, because it's going to tell you to turn the wrong way at the wrong time, and you're going to do it, and you're going to wind up in an accident. Or you're going to be looking at it, and when you should be looking at the car in front of you, and you're going to rear end the car. It's a matter of time. Or you're doing nothing and you're just minding your own business, trying not to get in an accident, and someone will slam into you. So that's the variable. And that's the fun thing about the transportation system here. So I'm really grateful about that. I'm grateful to pay taxes and licensing money to have an efficient transit system like this, like is here in LA. Then this is a nice little pocket in LA. That's some acting advice. I mean, there's different pockets, different types of people in different areas and stuff. And like some areas you don't even want to walk around in the day. They're really not that safe unless you've got on a Kevlar vest and you're packing. Like right now I'm not packing. I don't have a Kevlar vest. I'm in a relatively safe area, a safe pocket, if you will. It's got a bird. That's a real bird. That's not a mechanical CIA, NSA bird, fake bird. It's a real, genuine bird. Real flesh and blood and feathers and all that you can hear. Also, another tip, you're going to want to have medical care when you get here. I have medical care, but it's basically worthless. And I'm grateful for that. It's basically freaking worthless. It's like, well, no doctors will accept it because it's not enough of money for them, or I don't know, whatever reason, but it's like I have this medical care, and then I keep calling around doctors' offices to see if they'll accept it or not. I fell on my shoulder. It was a really good, wonderful thing that happened to me. I was climbing in my bed and I slipped and I fell on my shoulder, my left shoulder, and I only fell about like 3.5 feet, but I'm older, as you can tell. Missing hair from chemo, but that's a different story. Yeah, that's a different story about how I got that cancer dealt with. But so anyways, this is the wonderful, medical care in Los Angeles. Is I slip and fall, and then the first clinic I go to, they're like, well, they took a couple x-rays and they don't even show them to me, and they say, oh, your shoulder's fine and all that stuff, and then they don't give me any real pain medication. I'm not a drug addict. I'd like to be, but I never got addicted to them. I just never, but I would like it if they give me something to take care of the pain. Apparently they didn't think that was that important, so it kept getting worse and worse and worse, and then the next day it was so bad I had to go to an emergency room, and then I go to the emergency room and he gives me the 4 x-rays. He lets me look at them so I can see that my shoulder's just messed up a little bit, not as bad as I thought it was. It's just a basic like rotator cuff. It's got some swelling, and then I got a bump on the bone that I need ground down that caused some inflammation and some extra stuff. And these are good acting tips. This is or living in LA tips. And so what happens is I get out of there and they tell me that I need to go to a special orthopedic surgeon to help me out with physical therapy and ongoing, so my shoulder doesn't get frozen. I'm in a sensitive state where my shoulder can actually get frozen and stop working and become unusable because I'm not doing the right physical therapy to do that. So he sends me off to a clinic. And then with the medical profession in the U.S., you spend the usual 45 minutes on the phone, and before you even get to talk to a human being. And then once you talk to the human being, they tell you, well, they don't accept that insurance. That insurance, yeah, right, coverage and all that. And the insurance coverage in the U.S. is just kind of an illusion. It's like it gives you a feeling that you're medically covered, but you end up paying a bunch of bills. It's the #1 cause of bankruptcy in this country. And it's the same old story, I've lived in countries where they have social medicine and it's much better. I mean, not every country that has social medicine is better from what I know, but it's the one I was in before here, the medical care was a lot better because I actually got medical care. So anyways, after 45 minutes of waiting, I called there, and then they tell me, well, sorry, and then, and so then I call another place, and so I haven't, all of today, I haven't been able to find an orthopedic surgeon that will take my insurance and stuff. So that's what you get when you work all those years and you pay taxes. I mean, I used to be a longshoreman for years. I worked for like 20 years. Paid taxes, responsible person, all that, and then that's what I get in return. So Yeah, all those years of hard work and paying taxes, that's how they pay me back, is by not having any decent medical coverage. And then also, like you can hear that you can understand what I'm saying, that I'm speaking pretty good English. You can hear what I'm actually trying to convey you, the message and all that. I would assume. Well, a lot of these people in Los Angeles are going to misunderstand you because they don't speak that good of English, and yeah, they don't speak that good of English. So even if you do get a doctor, someone that will actually accept your medical insurance, your fake medical insurance that you have in this country, they're probably going to do a misdiagnosis because they don't understand the English that you're speaking. And you don't understand the broken English that they're saying, so that's what it is and everything there. And that's another quality living in Los Angeles acting tip, is that you're not always going to understand the director here because they might not speak that good of English. In the medical clinic, something like that, you're probably not going to understand what they're saying. The director, when you're acting, there might be a miscommunication, so you got to slow down. And they like to speak terrible English really quick, like that, and so you don't even really, yeah. And so you're basically, I guess, to put it in a nutshell, I don't even want to summarize this one. I want to keep going and going and going and blabbing, but you're just always going to be waiting, You're going to be waiting to get the medical treatment that you need that will never happen. It's just an illusion. You're going to be waiting to get your medical insurance. That'll never happen. You'll be waiting to put gas in your car. That might happen if there's gas at the pump. You'll be waiting at the pharmacy. You'll be waiting at the audition, if you even get in. If you even get an audition, you'll be waiting for that. So, And like right now, I'm injured. My left shoulder's injured. I'd be in severe pain. I wouldn't even be able to talk or think unless the second clinic didn't give me the proper medication to whatever, to get the proper health care and all that. And there's a guy walking, an assault dog. He's like walking around with a weapon. And he doesn't even clear enough of space to walk around me on the outside of me, the fucking jerk. And, but I could sue him because everybody's sue happy here if his dog bit me, but I'd probably die from the bite because they'd be waiting forever for the medical coverage. I mean, I'd be bleeding to death. Like my shoulder's all messed up right now, and it's all screwed up, and I'd be waiting to see a doctor, waiting in line again for medical care that I need, and that's what I worked 20 some years as an longshoreman, paying taxes and all that. That's what I get. I get people that don't even speak my own language anymore, and I just wait in line for help that I'll never get, for a physical problem that I have. So, yep, waiting.